How are you projecting rent out? You mentioned earlier about when you're in these meetings, listening to these presentations or these syndicators, and everything is up, 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 up. And we both know a lot of those guys that were thinking up, 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 up. What are your thoughts on rent projections and the decrease in rent?
Yes, it's a good point, Martin. I think rent projections. The longer I do this, the more I realize that real estate it's both macro, so it's meaning it's broad, it's the whole country, but it's also hyper local. So it's what markets you're in as well. We're not seeing rents go down. I mean, they're just I think that the rent bumps that we're looking at. I mean, we were buying stuff that was rents $1,000. We're expecting to put in $6,000, and then rents go to 1,500, right? So then, okay, maybe they're not at 1,500, maybe they're at 1,400 or 1,450. But no, it is a concern because you have all these factors. We've slowed down on purchasing because it's just things have changed. I mean, it's really challenging to get a deal done. I think that up to a few months ago, the transaction volume from 12 months prior was down 80% from a year before. So it's just we're not seeing the volume, and there's a lot of deals out there that are in trouble, going to get in trouble. And my friend Ken McElroy said this. He said, one of my shows I did, he said, 2023 is the year of operations. And so what that means is to be a good operator, you have to be able to execute the plan. And this is where I think it really does separate people that can operate deals really well. There's not as much margin there. They just kind of see how things go and do the renovations, and okay, occupancy drops to 70% or whatever. The things are tighter. And so we're seeing, deals just in general, there are more struggles out there, and costs are, actually we're seeing in Florida where costs of insurance have gone up 3 or 4 times as much as it was before. The cost for labor and material is still up 30 to 50% in some cases. So we're seeing higher expenses. We're seeing higher interest costs, especially even if you have an interest rate cap, or it's most debt on apartments particularly is bridge debt. There are some long-term fixed debt, but a lot of people have bridge debt with a cap. And because the cap is there, it's at the cap. So it's as high as it can go, and people are paying on that. And then there's kind of this, judgment day is coming of what's it going to look like when you're ready to sell, or you have to refinance, right? People are really concerned about that. And instead of having a cash out refinance, there could be some situations where there's a cash in refinance, right? So I think, so this is just stuff that's all to be aware of. I think good operators, the deals will be well, but it's an interesting environment because they're still short, somewhere between 3 and 7 million housing units in the US. So we have this incredible demand, but yet pricing's down. So in a way, there's a great opportunity there. It's just hard to get deals done and get them across the finish line.